In this week's Torah portion, it finally happens. We finally get there. The children of Israel are going to leave the land of Egypt, just like all of those illustrations that we've seen in the Haggadah. A long, straggling, trailing line of them with their bread on their shoulders that is going to turn into matzah, and packages in their hands. And it's that moment, that very moment, that marks the beginning of the master story of the Jewish people. It's so important to us, that moment, that we link every event in the Jewish calendar to it. Tonight, when we make Kiddush for Shabbat, we will state explicitly that Shabbat is Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim, a memory of the Exodus from Egypt. And the same is true of the other festivals on which we make Kiddush as well. Why is it so important? And how can we internalize the message of this journey as we read it and live it year after year after year? I suggest that it's so important because our tradition is expressing the wish for all of us to be just that little bit more free, just that little bit more perfectly the way that we need to be, to do the task that we need to do in the world. The mystical tradition understands the Exodus and the state of exile that preceded it, not as being just the physical movement from bondage into freedom, but also a psychological process. That the people were cut off from the source of what makes us really live as human beings, things that are meaningful, a sense of purpose, our connection with God. And it was only with the Exodus that the freedom came to be able to live ourselves in our fullest realization. So this Shabbat, as we lift the cup for Kiddush in remembrance of the Exodus from Egypt, let's perhaps look inside ourselves. Let's see if there is a place where we can be a little more free, a little more fully realized, so we can claim this most precious of heritages, to be partners with God in the work of the world. That was your Torah in 2.